The Fight Buzz, episode 3. This is the third one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Up and rolling now, Dino. Tom Little's joining us. Tom, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. Good. Can't complain at least that much.
You're looking pretty cozy over there.
Know what it is? I've got it here where the charger is, and I'm right near the router. So
literally got good signal.
Yeah, well, making sure I don't get no interruptions.
Mate, that's the way to do it. How are you doing, Dino? You all right?
Yep, all good, man. I'm saying I'm similar. I've got my batteries a bit low. I had the charge on it, but you know what? Remember the last few episodes, there's been a little bit of slight buzz. That's me because it's always on the charge. I literally just get in time to bang it on the charge. But today I thought, you know what? Let me not put it on the charge. I think I don't know. We'll see what percentage it's got. But it's quite good on the charges. So yeah.
If you start speaking really quickly later, it's because they will know it's because your battery's running out. You're trying to get it all in.
Let's wrap it up, guys.
Right, that was a good episode. Right, guys, see you later. Tom, I just want to jump straight into it. You're a busy man on the scene at the minute. What's going on boxing wise at the moment?
I don't know. Apart from loads of interviews, I'm doing like interviews with everyone. I'm assuming content must be getting dry for the interviewers because like everyone's on me.
No, yeah.
Thanks, stupid. But no, do you know what it is? Just training. My missus just got out of hospital, so I've just started back and able to get me foothold in because she had an operation. She come out. Bless her. She caught MRSA, and that. And then she went back in. She had quite a serious operation, and then I've literally just back to a bit of normality, if you know what I mean. Now I'm just waiting for the phone call. I know it's always when you've got a lot of stuff going on, you get the phone call like, do you want to fight such and such? Like, and I know what Slippery Nut said he's on. He's gonna wait. He's gonna wait. I've got about 3 weeks and whatever not. He's going, right, do you want this? And I'd listen. I won't be taking no fights unless I'm 100% right. Which listen. We're all boxing people. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the least that anybody could expect is just let me get my fat ass fit first. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But as you know that he's about to pull the trigger, you should be loading yourself then, no?
Well, it is. I was getting to quite a good standard. Like I'd say I was just floating just before starting sparring. That part. Like I thought I was at the point where I'd be like 4-6 weeks away from being ready anyway, yeah. And then obviously all that with me missus, when to me family comes first before and above it everything else. And but I'm back at it. I've just started breaking the wheels again. I'm not going to have so far to come back from this time because I'm still holding quite a good level of fitness, running every day and everything. So, like, listen, I'll be ready by nook or by crook. I will be ready, and it's just like so. He makes me laugh. How Slippery Nuts do. He just makes me die. Like it's like. I said to him last time he offered me Babic, yeah, on the undercard of Dylan and Perverti, and I was like, listen, this man looks like an absolute psychopath. Leave me alone. I said, why do you never ring me and say, do you want to fight Dorian Darch in a 4-rounder? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Why do you keep bringing these like guys from the parts of Eastern Europe no tourists want to visit? And there's a reason, because these guys are there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but listen, the weirdly scary thing is, I get on really, really well with Alan. Like
I've seen.
And the troubling thing is, I keep hearing people say he's a savage, he's a lunatic, and whatever. And I think to myself, it's a bit worrying that I relate so much to him.
Something in common, yeah.
Yeah, nah. Listen. I said to him, look, we'll out. If the fight gets made, we'll meet in the middle. We'll knock absolutely a ton of blood and snot out of one another, then we'll go to whatever town it's in and we'll drink the pubs dry and celebrate to the win. That can't be no fairer than that, can you? And that's why.
He's a guy at the minute, isn't he?
I'm still waiting for Fast Car to say to me what's happening, because he likes to leave you in suspense. But I'm not sure any fights are going to be happening anytime soon with this second wave shit going about.
Listen, don't worry. He's tallying up the numbers, Fast Car. You don't mess about. The man is all about the numbers. What he's doing is going to crunch the numbers. He'll be back with you shortly.
Yeah.
Every interview at the minute that you see with fighters, they're all saying the same thing. They're all saying what you're saying there. I mean, maybe not the same about Babic already, but they're all saying like they just want to get back out, but no one can really say when, because it's just Rona's in the way, isn't it?
I so badly want to fight, so badly, and to be honest with you, I'd have a fight with a pisshead on a street corner the way I feel at the minute. I just want to have a fight. Yeah, you know what I mean, like unless the pisshead was quite big and looked like he got a criminal record, then
Alan Babic.
Mate, I'm telling you now, I've got skeletons in my closet. Babic got aliens in his basement, mate. I'm telling you.
He's a guy on the up, isn't he? He is a guy on the up and up at the minute. He looked. I mean, people can say what they like about the opposition on Fight Camp, but he looked quality when he finished it.
Look,
he's good.
You can't knock the man's ethic. Do you know what I mean? Like pure old school viciousness. Like that's the only way you can put it down to. That man will poleaxe you. He will close you down. He will make a tidy boxer look untidy. You can go. Let me tell you something. If I had to have a fight with him, I wouldn't even bother kidding myself. Say, yeah, we're going to get on the bike and take a bit of sting out of him. You can't. You'll burn more energy running away from him than you will. You'll have to find something to try and backen him or walk him on. It is genuinely. I said this the other day. I said if me and him had a fight, it'd be so old school. You'd have to show it on a black and white TV. Like, because listen, I'd have to utilise my size, my weight advantage, and everything. And look, to be fair, I will say I'm an honest man. Sean Dale Winters was a blowed up light heavyweight on the scales, yeah. But he still boxed at high quality, and he literally gave the man no respect, run him over. He respected him afterwards, said I respect you, but he Ron sealed him. He done exactly what he said on the tin. Do you know what I mean? He came out,
Yeah.
And he said he was gonna knock 7 lumps of snot out of him. And I'm telling you now, I at least seen 6 shades of snot come out of Sean Dell. Do you know what I mean? So,
this guy's too funny.
I like that word. I like that rawness. That I don't care if you don't like what I say. I don't care if you don't like what I do. I'm doing it. So what you're gonna do about it? That's what I want to know. And you can, from where I come from and everything, you can nothing but respect a man like that. And I just thought to myself, Joe, what? He's the sort of man I'd like to have a fight with, because you're going to have a proper fight with him.
Where do you see his level? Like, can he go all the way to the top? You look at the guys in between where he is now and the top, and how far up the ladder does he go?
He's a man on the right. This is what I'm going to put it like this here. People's look at him, calling him wild and saying this here, right? But you got to be right. I act silly, but I'm not as silly as I act. And you don't get onto national boxing team and be on the same Olympic squads as people like Filip Hrgovic. Like, it weren't like Croatia didn't have any quality amateurs. They sent him to WSB. He was on the Croatian national team. So listen, he's got more than just raw aggression about him. And look, you'd have to be either blind, deaf, or dumb to see that. But the thing is the same as all amateur pedigree and everything else. Daniel Whyte's a perfect example. Look, you don't have to have a dazzling amateur pedigree to go and achieve big things. It's how far you want to take yourself. It's how far you're willing to dig, and it's how you pull it off on the night. And the only way we'll know any Babic or Joyce or Daniel Dubois, you won't know how far they will go until they're in that deep water and they have to swim it. They either swim it or sink it. Boxing's full of speculations, but there's not many speculations that really come to fruition. How many times have we said, like, anybody, like, I'm a massive fan of boxing away from it being my job, but how many times have you sit there and said this kid's gonna be the next big thing? Because they look brilliant against bog standard, even domestic level opposition, but when they step up against somebody who's been around the block more than once, they the roadblock, but nobody can ever see that coming. Otherwise, they wouldn't match them against them people.
No, absolutely.
What do you reckon, Dean? When you look at Babbage and you see him going up, and I don't know, let's just throw some names that are on the scene doing the rounds. If you look at Fiore's, Joshua's, Wilder's, Whyte's, and then you've got Chisora's up there, Usyk's in the mix, Dave Allen, Hughie Fiore, Nathan Gorman, all these names that are various different levels and at various. Can Babbage go the distance? Can he? What do you reckon?
Do you know, I've been in close proximity with Babbage. Obviously in the sparring with Dill, he just brings it. He doesn't do much. He doesn't do none of the strength and conditioning the boys do. He just comes in, brings the pressure for 6 or 8 rounds, 10 rounds, whatever it is, and he just keeps frying his hands. Like Tom said, he was an elite amateur. He's done something. I think he's had over 200 fights or something crazy. So it weren't by accident that he's mixed in the company. He's been around, the Hergoviches and the other people in that kind of naming. So for me, coming forward and looking at what he's doing in boxing, it's early. It's quite early. What you do in sparring sometimes doesn't dictate where you're going to go in boxing and stuff like that. As you go up the levels, he's quite a small heavyweight. He's very aggressive and he keeps putting the pressure. Some people might fold under that kind of intense examination from Babbage, you know what I mean? Some people like their time to pick shots and stuff. But he's coming up. He's early in the game. Obviously, Fox was the one who was saying, he'd like to fight him and steamroll him. He's had, what is he at, 2 or 3 fights? Oh, it's quite evenly matched contest, but the only thing is like about 6'8", 6'7". So it's kind of early times, but the signs are positive from what I see from him. It's time for him to now go out there and show everyone on the night, on the bright lights, that he can go and do it. He's done it a few times as it is. Like he said, he fought the kid the other day. What's his name? What do you call him? What's that kid's name again? What was the guy? On the fight camp. What was the guy's name he beat recently? I can't remember.
Winters. Yeah,
Winters. So that fight, look, that guy done took some good rounds with was it Jose Parker he went? So, and then he got him out of there. He just blitzed him. So, it's different styles make different fights, and obviously Jose Parker was trying to box while he was trying to blitz the opponent. So it's just different, So I think he's got a good career ahead of him. He's not matching right, but I think he just wants to, be matched tough and hard, and we've got to see what happens.
We've lost Tom for a minute.
Yeah, he looks like he's paused.
He's not moved for a while. He's just popped up again. Let me see if I can get him back.
Hello?
Have we got you back, Tom?
Sorry about that. Yeah,
I thought you was a mannequin.
It went a bit funky. Yeah. It just froze.
This is mad. Can you see us moving? Because you're not moving for us.
No, mine's like running like behind time.
It's moving a little bit there. You're moving.
Yeah.
Do a little dance. Electric boogaloo.
That's it. Yeah, it's all like a bit like skippy.
Might have to get you closer to that router. Set the floor next to me.
I put the router on your head.
I'll put it on.
Yeah, we've seemed to have lost though, Tom.
Technical difficulties.
I'm back after the break.
Right.
There he is.
Welcome back, Tom.
Right. How's that?
That's good.
Where are you now? Again?
Right, I've gone downstairs and like made everyone turn Netflix off.
That's really good of you. Not everyone would do that.
Yeah, well, because I might not be alive now tomorrow morning because she might kill me. If nobody is, you know why?
Yeah.
What's she watching on Netflix? What have you made it turn off?
Friday night dinner.
I don't like it. It's all right.
Nah. My little boy was the one who decided on that, I think.
Oh, fair enough. Well, what we were saying before all that, what I was going to say was we spoke the other week, Dean, when we had Dave Colwell in, and it was straight after the Dillian fight, and we were talking about Dillian, Povetkin, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua. They're the big names in the division, and obviously in Deontay Wilder. They're the big names that everyone's kind of, dream matchmaking against and everything else. If you take those guys away, the division is absolutely on fire. The heavyweight scene is absolutely rocking at the moment because we were talking about Chisora Usyk before. You've got Babic on the way up. You've got Hughie Fury, Joseph Parker. You've got yourself, Tom Little. There's Dave Allen still doing the rounds. There's so many fighters that are in there just ready to try, or at least attempting to try and break through. Kubrat Pulev, who obviously AJ's up against next. There's more names if we think about it. Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce, all these names to go through. The division, it's not looking empty anymore. It's absolutely on fire.
And that's just the ones here, though, you're talking about. You forgot King Kong Ortiz, Rivas, and a few others across the pond, you know what I mean? Brian Jennings, Kawanaki. We could go on and name quite a few. Hellenius is there still. So, I mean, like, you got Hergovich. There's so many. I think you're right. For me, I'd like to see Dubois tested, if truth be told. He's got a very, very lofty position in the WBO ranking. He's number 2.
Yeah.
I was down there today, and I was down there the other day because I've done an interview with someone on, I think, Sunday, and I was talking about, I said, Frank's done a great job. Listen, his relationship with the WBO is amazing. Off the back of the opponents he's faced, to become number 2 in the world ranking is bananas. So we've got to take our hat off to Frank Warren for that. But I'd like to see him tested. What's your thoughts, Carl? I know you've done rounds with both boys. How do you see that fight pan out, Joe Joyce and Dubois? That's something that's coming up in the next 6 weeks, I reckon. 7 weeks, it'll probably be.
Do you know what, boys? I've done rounds with both of them. I've done rounds in a fight with Daniel, and I've done lots of rounds with him sparring. And I've done rounds with Joe. The thing is, like, I think for once in my life, emotion is it got hold of me, because I like Joe and I want him to win so bad. But my good boxing sense tells me you can't let a man like Daniel Dubois hit you clean, and Joe's not that hard to hit clean.
Yeah, that's the problem.
If someone you clean, you go away. Do you know what I mean? So I want Joe to win, but I can't really see him getting close. Either way, whatever way that fight goes, that's not done above 5 rounds.
Yeah. And I think, like Lyndon Arthur was saying last week about if doesn't matter if you take a loss, like these guys are still going to be there and thereabouts. Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, one of them has to lose. but they're still a big name on the scene. Certainly on the British scene. They're not going anywhere, are they?
No, listen, you got to commend both of them for taking that fight. Like they can't. Listen, it's a sport, and I think people read too much into it. If someone takes a loss or takes a couple of losses or whatever, look, it's a sport after all said and done. And look, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you go again. Do you know what I mean? Heavyweights more so than any other weight. We're so recyclable. Like, we're so recyclable. Because it's the one-punch division. So you can be winning the fight all the way up. Look, we see the other week. It's a perfect example. You can have a man on his dying legs and he pulls a shot out that carries that. Boom, gone.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And boxing, look, that's the one thing that I like about the UFC. A loss ain't the end of a fight or in anything like that. And nor it shouldn't be, because you're going out there, you're giving it all on your line. And too right, the loser of Daniel and Joe, they will come again, and they're the sort of boys. The winner will go on and achieve something really big in boxing, and the loser will be that guy always thereabouts, bit of a gatekeeper, always in big money fights, and that's it. And if that's how it's got to pan out, that's how it's got to pan out.
How do you see that fight going, Dean? How do you see Joyce Dubois?
You know what? Yeah, I'm looking at it similar. I'm thinking, big puncher Daniel Dubois. You definitely don't want to be on the end of that right hand. You know what I mean? He's got a wonderful jab, got big power in that right hand. I'd like it to be entertaining as long as it lasts. Joe Joyce isn't that hard to hit. I do hope that in the fight he wants to take his head off the line and try and not get hit so clean. Sarkson a bit much. He's got a hell of a chin and he's got a hell of an engine, man. I'm just intrigued for a good fight, and I hope it lives up to the expectation. And I'd like to see I'd like to see Daniel Dubois tested, And Joe's the man, I think, that might do it. To try and give him a few rounds. When you look at Joe, he looks a bit like robotic and this and that, but they don't give out silver Olympic medals or virtually gold medals for nothing. He's very well decorated as an amateur, and he's got experience as much. When he's in there, he's getting clipped. He might be rolling a tad bit with the punches, but he's letting his hands go, and he can do it from round 1 to round 12. I'd like to see how Daniel is in the later rounds. He's got a lot of muscle. His punch output. He punches with bad intentions. Does he still carry that power later on in the 8th, in the 9th, in the 10th? That kind of thing. I'd like to see if he can go the distance and how he performs. So yeah, I think it's a great fight. But I've said it as well. Like Tom, it's quite early in their career. I wouldn't have matched this fight. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be scared of the fight, but I just feel like both guys under the banner could have been propelled and pushed in different lanes, and maybe them not could have had a couple of world champions in there if they were lucky enough to win, and then make a big fight with those under that banner. But they want a clear, decisive person who they want to push and who they're going to get behind. So they want to get one guy out of the way. They believe they got the man, the right horse they're backing, which is Daniel Dubois, and they're trying to bring Joe to the slaughter and see if he can withstand the pressure, the fire, and the flames.
To be fair, if it delivers like that, if it is a firefight, in a few years, there could well be a rerun with a world title on the line, because the winner is going that way, aren't they?
100%.
Joe's pushing on though, so
Joe needs more than anything to disable that tarmac punt of a left hand that Daniel got. That left hand, that jab is like getting hit by a mini metro in the face. Like, it's unbelievable.
It's a great jab.
His jab's not too much weaker than his right hand, and that I'm not kidding with you. And if I thought him the next night on our box. Listen, you do not stand at the end of his hands. You know someone who's all wrong for Daniel Dubois? Someone all wrong for him. Someone like a Derek Chisora. Someone like a Bab. Someone what's that? Because I can tell you firsthand, Daniel Dubois don't carry that same. He's still strong, but he don't carry the same power, scary power, up close.
Of course not. But you can see what he is, though. You can see that. I can't. I've said it before that he doesn't look like he can fight up close. I haven't seen him fight in the pocket. If someone sat on his chest and mold him and just didn't let him work, he'd be big and strong. But if they would just literally mold him and make it a dog fight, it wouldn't be the greatest fight for him. But you just wouldn't want to be on the end of the jab or the right hand.
Is he the hardest puncher you've ever faced?
No, Filip Hrgović was. And Filip Hrgović fought the best me that any of the prospects fought. Because I was coming off of a good bunch of momentum. I was really fit. And I had the tides of that fight turning, to be fair. I had the tides of it turning, and then I run into it. But every time in that fight, every time Filip hit me, I think everybody in boxing can agree, I don't struggle with having balls. Right? I've got plenty of guts and heart. But honestly, every time that man hit me up the arms, I felt sick. I got a sick feeling in my stomach. Like he punched me in the arm, and it was disgusting. It was genuinely disgusting. It was like I smelled dog shit. Right, that's what it's like. He carry freak power. He carries freak power. But Daniel's strong, and I'll tell you, similar, the same sort of thing. David Price carries double the punch power in sparring than what he do on the night. I found that mental.
Why is that?
I remember thinking myself, Price, I've done rounds with him, mate. I felt he shots with 18s on. You know what I mean? This is fucking hurt. Do you know what I mean? And when I walked out there and I took a couple on the gloves and on the arms and that, I was like, this ain't like sparring. Do you know what I mean? Then, but it's one of them ones, isn't it? I don't think there's a man at heavyweight that can't punch to some sort of degree. Do you know what I mean? But the that I've just mentioned are all the biggest punchers about. Do you know what I mean? But Daniel Dubois, he punches hard, but I didn't consider him to have concussive power. Like when I got stopped, it was just I was more overwhelmed. Like I would never make excuses. And I'm going to put this out there. The result probably would have very much been the same if this wouldn't have even happened. But in the opening round, I was unfortunate. I broke my hand in a couple of places. I let a left hook go, and I thought myself. I thought I was letting my left hand go still. I thought I'd become superhuman, and I didn't, and the pain weren't bothering me. But I weren't letting my left hand go, and it allowed him to get close, and he overwhelmed me and stopped me. Do you know what I mean? But it weren't to the fact I never got hit with Daniel once in the face. Thought I'm going to sleep. You know what I mean? I thought. Whereas times in like, you know, when you catch a glancing shot and you've took pretty much everything off the shot. Even when I got caught with them off Filip, I thought if he hits me clean, this is the end of the night. I know I'm going to sleep. Do you know what I mean? And that's a very worrying human being to stand in front of. Do you know what I mean? Like that's very troubling. But I do genuinely believe that Filip Hrgović has got everything that needs to be the next Klitschko, to be the next dominator in that division. Like I do genuinely believe that with my hand on my heart. Like he's strong, but he's not just strong. Do you know what I mean? He's very clever and cunning with the little traps that he sets, and he's very self-aware of stuff. So I think genuinely, out of the prospects coming through, he's the one that will go and make the biggest noise.
Do you know all the names that you mentioned before when you were talking about the ones outside of Britain, all the heavyweights outside of Britain, Hrgovic and Brian Jennings, and all the other names that you mentioned? How long?
Cabal as well. Yeah, sorry.
How long are the belts going to stay in England? Because we've got some great fighters over here. We've got Tyson and AJ holding them at the minute, but then we've got obviously Dillian and Derek doing the round. We've got Dubois on the way through, Joyce, whoever wins that one on the way through. But like you and Tom have just said, there's massive big boys coming for these belts at some point down the line. Surely at some point the belts are going to leave these shows.
No. Hold on. I think hold on. Sorry, yeah. I don't know why. What the hell? Sorry about that. Someone was calling, but basically, nah. I don't think. Sorry, I don't know what's happened there. Someone's gave me a call and messed up the old mojo. Yeah. Nah, those guys they're very close to the top, but the top few. A lot of these guys can beat each other on the same night. You know, like a lot of these guys, there's not much in it between the top boys. But I think Hrgovic, like he says, is definitely a standout one of them. But he's going to be a man. He's a who needs him guy. You know what I mean? No one's going to give him a voluntary. He's going to be waiting on the line for a very, very, very long time to get his shot. You know what I mean? No one's going to give him no opportunity. Actually, I'm hearing he's meant to fight the winner of Joyce and Dubois, which would be interesting as well. So, but I got a feeling, whoever wins that might just think, you know what? It's a bad hair day. I'm not going to make this appointment today, lads. I'll just go wild. You know what I mean? But, I mean, when you look at the top boys, I mean, Jennings, definitely good. It'll be a good fight for those boys. I can't see him troubling them. I think he'll make it entertaining. Rivas was tough. He's only been lost to Deal. He was a top guy. Oh, the one I actually forgot was Andy Ruiz, actually, out of a lot of them shit. He obviously became, world champion, undisputed, unified champ, or whatever he was. Listen, I feel the belt. There's, look, you got Wilder. Can he upset that apple cart with, in the third fight with Tyson Fury? I doubt it very much. He's talking about his bicep, his toe, his nose, his coat, his weightlifting jacket. He's probably talking about his boat, his yacht. I don't know what else is next. I don't know. Let's see what turns up for him in the trilogy. I can't see anything changing. So I think the UK is time now to reign as heavyweight. The dominant force in the heavyweight division is now, and I think we'll continue to be that with the guys we've got. And there are some good young talented ones coming up, but it'd be nice to see them match up against the others. Like, even if it ain't the world level ones, I feel like Agit is like, obviously he was European champion. He's on the fringe of world level. I'd like to see Agit maybe fight bloody Daniel Dubois or Joe Joyce, or you got Tony Yoko, who was gold medal. Let's run that back again, because obviously they bumped Joe Joyce as well. So there's good fights there to make, to see if actually these boys are truly on world level and going to be competing with the rest of the top UK boys. But we've got a lot of top boys at the top. We've got Fabio Wardley, obviously he's English champion, still a little way to go, but he's looking pretty tantalizing, and he blitzed for Lily the other day. So let's see what happens.
Do you know, I still like Joseph Parker. I still think he's got something to offer.
No, yes, sorry. And Joseph Parker, I did forget him. He's quality as well. He's quality. But, you can't remember them all. Bloody hell. Yeah. They're not on the rare nephew either.
Big listener.
Yeah.
Tom, we've gone over the heavyweight scene quite a lot there. There was something else I wanted to ask you tonight. I was just reading my notes and stuff before you came on during the day today. And a story come out from Billy Joe Saunders a while ago about how you two became friends. Can you just relay that for us?
Me and him been friends for years upon years. And like they're just like we literally lived a mile down the road from one another. Like ever since we've been kids for like ever since we can really remember. Like we used to be little 12-year-old kids up and down, like getting into trouble with one another and whatever. And that's it, really. We've just been friends ever since, really.
Oh, fair enough. The story I read, he was saying you had a bit of a disagreement one day and you became friends after that.
Joe, ever since we've known each other, disagreements.
I think I remember that as well, actually, you know.
We've had disagreements ever since being kids. That's just how we are. We've got a love-hate relationship.
What's going on with Billy at the minute? Because the Canelo fight is on, then it's off, then the Callum Smith fight is there, then it's not, and then Canelo's suing the zone, and then I feel for Billy because he's been there for ages asking for Golovkin or Canelo, and every time something just happens.
Do you know what? I think Billy Joe was soon turning into the who needs him man. Do you know what I mean? And like that's what it's like he's enough to beat anybody on his given day. If the right Billy Joe turns up, he beats Canelo. He beats Triple G. He's just the bogeyman, really. But it's just getting the fights nailed down, and it's all going to come down to money. And you know, like you were saying, how long is it going to take for our heavyweights to lose a title to abroad? Well, it's the same as the situation with Billy Joe. The minute one of them other heavyweights gets a promoter with enough money to rob one of them, then one of the belts will be leaving. But other than that, it won't happen. And I do believe, unless Billy Joe takes a dip in money against what they're trying to do with the Canelo thing is they're trying to offer him as too little money so he won't take it. So they're basically just trying to price him out of the fight, saying, well, we offered you it for X amount, but Billy Joe ain't a prospect getting given an opportunity. Billy Joe's a world champion in his own right, and he's earned his right. He's earned his right with the resume of fighters he's fought to stand up and ask for the money that's so rightly deserved. He ain't like a fighter that's bringing nothing to the table. He's an undefeated world champion. Do you know what I mean? And all he's got to do is just keep winning, keep active. If I was him, I'd just say, look, Eddie, just hurry up and line me someone up, no matter who it is and who it ain't. Just get it lined up and get it sorted out, so I can just keep winning. And then you beat enough people, almost the road that Dylan Whyte was on. Whyte was on. Unfortunately, got cut, but he was staying active. He was keeping current. He weren't getting forgot about, because whether you're world champion or not, you can still be forgotten about and go by the wayside. Do you know what I mean? And I think he just needs to be active and needs to be in high quality fights. But with Billy Joe, and he'll be the first person to say this, you won't see the best of Billy Joe until you put the best in front of Billy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been like that from being. He's been like that from being a kid. I've watched him have life and deaths in the amateurs. I've watched him have life and deaths with fellas he could beat with one hand, and then go up against a multinational title winner and make them look absolute stupid. Do you know what I mean? So that's the thing with him, mate. But he don't know how good he is himself, and you won't until he reaches that limit. Nobody will know how good he is until he fights one of them who's considered to be unbeatable.
Yeah, we need to see him back out there. We do need to see him back out there, but it all looks a bit messy. We could talk all night about what the hell's going on with Canelo and DAZN and all the rest of it. You mentioned Dillian and Alexander there. They're all talking about saying it looks like a rematch is about to be announced. It's going to happen soon. I don't think the date has been announced yet. Dean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think the date's been announced yet.
Not yet, but it's coming.
It's not far off, is it? Dean, I know which way you're going to say. Tom, what do you reckon? Is Dillian going to come back and do the business there?
100%. Listen, it weren't that he didn't do the business on like, look, I've got nothing but time and respect for Dylan. Like I genuinely get on with him, right, in general. And Dylan knows how I am. If I thought he was going to lose, or I thought he was saying, I'd say it. I'm not one of them who would just say he's going to win because he's my pal. You got to be honest, and if you can't be honest with people you consider as a friend, you ain't much of a friend. Do you know what I mean? And listen, you couldn't really fault what he done on the night. He was just settling in. He done a clever thing by not rushing after the knockdowns, and because that's when Pavett catches people. You know what I mean? And it just showed the whole thing with heavyweight boxing that it's only one shot. But let me tell you something. I don't believe lightning strikes twice in them sort of situations where it weren't even really a close fight. He pulled, and Povetkin pulled a left hand out of his backside. Do you know what I mean? But he looked at it like I was genuinely gutted for him. And people have been saying, should he have?
I think everyone was, really.
Yeah, like we're talking about immediate rematches. Now, let me tell you something. Why the hell would you not have an immediate with him? Like that shot's happening. Dylan's one of them people like myself. He'd rather face something head on rather than beat around the bush, go and have a tap about with somebody and then go back into that fight. He don't need to. He got everything right on the night. He just didn't. It's just a lapse of concentration for a split second can cost you your full night, and that's the unfortunate thing with it. But this rematch, take it straight away, and I genuinely believe. Do you know what? I got offered when they were gonna use sparring partners in the fight camp. Povetkin's team asked me to come and go and sparring. Like they said, will you come and spar for 2 weeks? And what? And I was like, listen, I'm just one of them. I wouldn't stand and talk to somebody and be their friend, and then in the next breath go and help someone get ready to try and beat them. Like I was like, mate, listen, may the best man win, and whatever not. I wish you both the best of luck, but like I'm not running like because I wouldn't Dylan to beat you if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, just finally, let me put this to both of you. Dean, I want to start with you, but then I'll come to you, Tom. Tom, just after. So let's say the rematch happens on whatever date, and they're both in the ring, and they both get into like round 3, 4, 5, whatever, and the same thing is happening, right? Dillian's controlling the fight. He's working him well. He's getting shots in the body. He's getting shots up top. He's just controlling it. He's knocked him down a couple of times. What's in Dillian's head then? Because it's not a foregone conclusion. Do you know what I mean? He's thinking, I've been here before, but Dillian better than I do. So what goes in his head at that moment?
No, I believe if he gets a knockdown this time, I think what he should have done, they probably applied a bit more educated the pressure, tuck up, and tried to get him out of there. Obviously, he didn't play it safe. He was boxing well, and he was told to keep it cool and just keep doing your thing. But I think he could have pressed on the gas a little bit. Not too crazy and gone wild, but just kind of old-minded him, tried to rough him up. You already got the 2 knockdowns. His legs was a bit unsteady. But the thing is, this is how Povetkin is in his fights. He's red, he's flustered, his legs looks like they're gone, and he's still in there. He's smart. He went and took a knee. They weren't big knockdowns. They were flash knockdowns. He was smart enough to take the knees and go on. But I felt like if Dill got on his chest, he wouldn't have been able to do some of those the uppercuts and the overhands, and try to rough him up and try to dig to the body and go over the top himself and try and see if there was truly anything left in the tank. Because if you're sitting in the pocket and having a little trade up and it's close and you're being manhandled by a big old bear like Dill, pushing his forearm and his neck and trying to, you know if there's anything left in him, because he's the way how he responds would show you. But I think, you know, if he does hurt him, he might try and get him out of there this time, because what you got to know is if every minute and second he's in there, there's a possibility something dangerous could happen, because he's got the experience, he's got the pedigree, he's done it before. I'm sure Dill won't be concerned and like wasting energy with that. But the longer he's in there, there's a possibility a party trick can come out of the bag.
So does that mean the longer the fight goes on, would it play? What I'm asking is, would it play in his mind if he's like round 8, round 9, not got him away yet, and he just knows that at any point Povetkin can just be this little hand grenade that just rolls up underneath and just explodes upwards?
I don't think it would. Dill's quite a tough character, and he doesn't have too much hang-ups, you know, so I wouldn't say so. You know what I mean?
What about you, Tom? When you're in there and you know what someone's capable of and they're not going away and they've done it to you before, what would be in your mind?
Mate, that all comes down to your makeup. And look, Dylan's one of the boys. He don't really care about what happened yesterday. What are you gonna do today when you stood in front of me? Yesterday was yesterday. Yeah. Today I'm gonna. You know what I mean? And that's just how he is. I don't think he's not one of them to overanalyze stuff like, oh, this happened beforehand. It's like, let's have a fight. No problem. You done that before. Don't worry. And real men don't worry about what happened yesterday. They get on and they get up and they get cracking again. So I generally don't think that'd be anything to come in his thing. And exactly what Dean said there, that I said this from a while ago. I think Dylan tried to be, after the couple of knockdowns, a little bit too clever. Whereas the ruggedness and that manhandedness that's got him so far, do you know what I mean? He everything he done there, the knockdowns he scored were educated and precise. But we all know, and Dylan knows himself, there's times to be clever and there's times to just get your nut down and get and close that finish. Obviously, a man like Povetkin, you don't rush straight after. You also don't let him off the hook.
100%.
I mean, you don't let him off the hook. So there's that there, like the pouring out with the hands. Like I think he'll reevaluate that and say, right, we'll leave that be because that's quite dangerous. Do you know what I mean? But other than that, I think genuinely, and I don't think you can really say anything other, just more of the same what was, because the blueprint was there on how to win quite easy. Just don't give that sneaky Russian that little gap. He was genuine. He can pick a shot, can't he? And he's famous for it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Well, listen, I'm conscious that we've kept you way over the 20 minutes, but there were those techie issues before. Before we let you go, are we going to see you out again this year? And if you get your way, if you get your wish, how many times and who against?
Who, me? I'd like this year, once, maybe twice. Do you know what I mean? Once, maybe twice. I'd fight 4 times if I could, but I'm being realistic. Once or twice this year. And do you know what? I want to fight around domestic level. I do, because that I believe that's my level. But the Babbitt fight comes up, we'll have some of that, no problem. That's a bit of me, that fight. That's a fight I'll get excited about. Do you know what I mean? I'll get excited about things like that. If that fight don't come off, I will be fighting a couple of divs somewhere and get myself to a point where I can challenge for a good domestic title. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like that. I'd say turn that on. I like the fights with like I'm not calling these boys divs, but I'm just saying, like, your Cash Alleys or your Ellis Mackins or like people like that, like at tidy domestic level, where, because look, I feel like I owe my little lad and me dad before I get out of boxing to achieve something that can never be taken away, whether it be a British title, English title, Commonwealth title. And I believe, listen, anybody that's seen me in with the quality of people, I know sparring's one thing, but listen, I've sparred with the best heavyweights in the world, and I've never looked out of place. I know I can win a British title. I know I can. I know I can win, but whether it be British, English, Commonwealth, I just want to keep something that can never be taken away.
British level, like Hughie Fury, Dave Allen at the moment, they're talking about British. I mean, Hughie's won it and tried higher up. I think he's in that mix at the moment. The loser of Dubois and Joyce. Is that an ideal scenario? One of those?
Mate, Dave Allen is a fight that I want so bad, but he just do not want none of it, mate. He do not want none of it. I feel a bit like a bully where I keep asking for it. Like, but Joe is, look, you can't make someone fight if they don't want to. And I think I've proved to everybody, I think Dave knows himself, and Dave's made it quite clear. He knows that I'm all wrong for him. And that's enough for me. If you don't want to fight, no, don't fight. But don't ever bang on about the heart of a lion or whatever not you want to bang on about, because I think you're a cowardly shithouse. And if you don't like what I'm saying, I lay here in Hatfield. He's more than welcome to come to my front garden and say you're out of order for that, Tom. Do you know what I mean? But listen, when you're fighting, man, and that's what you do, you shouldn't. If you're Dave Allen has achieved nothing no more than I have. Me and him have fell at the same hurdles, at the same gate posts. Me and him have fell against. The only thing Dave Allen has got that I don't is about 20,000 more followers on Instagram. That's about it. So
we'll try and get him for a right of reply. We'll get him for a right of reply on the show, team.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him write a reply. Do you know what he's though? This is what done me. This is what started me off with the full thing. He was going on like I weren't even in his stratosphere. Like I shouldn't even be. Like he looked disgusted. He wanted me to fight an eliminator. He wanted me to fight Jay McFarlane. And then if I beat Jay McFarlane, then he'd fight me. And then he starts going out, calling out Alan Babick. I thought to myself, you strawberry-nosed. Like, who do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? Like, and that, like, I'm one of them people. You know, if I like you, I will give you the last pound in my pocket, and like generally. But if I hate you, I will genuinely do everything I can to ruin your life. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm having problems with this bloody screen staying still. It's fucked.
I think we're going to have to call this show the.
My camera's gone. It's gone mad.
The Tech Issues Show.
Yeah, listen, mine's just gone.
The blooper.
Blooper reel, yeah, full of it. Listen, Tom, I think we'll draw it there, but I'll sign off on saying I'd watch that fight. Dave and Tom Little. To be honest, I like Jay McFarlane, so I'd watch that one as well. But I worked with Joe. I worked with Jay previously. He's a good lad. But listen, I hope to see them all happen.
Yeah, like I like Jay. I got a lot of time for Jay, and I was kind of pissed off. What I got a bit of the amp about, I was like, listen, let's have it right. Jay's very green, very like novice-y. Not novice-y, but like quite green. Like at a good high domestic level, yeah. And it wasn't having a big debate. I was just saying, like, you're meant to be managing him. Why are you doing? Why are you trying to chuck him under the bus to deflect away from? I'm asking you for a fight. I ain't asking Jay for one. Why are you being a shitbag and trying to chuck him underneath the bus? I ain't got a problem with Jay, but if you want, I said as much as I care about the pair of you, I said I'll fight you both on the same night if you want. So I couldn't really care. I said, but like, I said, stop trying to chuck poor Jay underneath the bus to deflect away from yourself. You dumb.
Fair enough.
I like Dave.
I like Dave. I like Dave a lot. Listen, boys, it's been a treat. I think I'm gonna, if we draw a line now, I'm gonna have to start working on the edits. But listen, Tom, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and at short notice as well. It's got to be said. Dean said the other week we should get Tom on. I text you, and you've come on pretty much straight away. So I appreciate it.
Listen, no problem.
It's
and whoever you fight next, we'll get you on just before or just after it. We'll get you back.
All right, boys. I'll say good night. God bless.
All right, take care, bud.
See you later, man.